Hey everybody, you are tuned in to Hanging with Here to Zen, the show that is a place for people who love all kinds of music. We really hope you enjoy your time with us today. Make sure you hit subscribe if you already haven't, and hit that notification bell to be kept up to date. We would love to hear from you over on our social media platforms, so just search Here to Zen and you'll find us. Lastly, could you leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify or Google Podcasts, or wherever you're going to be tuning in from? Those reviews help other people to find us, so we appreciate the reviews and the support. Thanks so much for tuning in.
How's it going?
Hey man, how are you?
All right.
All right, we'll get it short and sweet, get you on with your day. How's that sound?
Sounds good. Where are you at?
Brisbane.
Brisbane. Okay.
All right. So, as the press release says, am I ever going to see your face again? Clearly, I'm seeing it right now. He's here on Zoom with me talking about the 2023 upcoming Australian tour. CJ Ramone, me first in the Gimme Gimmes. How you doing, mate?
I'm doing all right. Looking forward to coming out.
Well, you headed back 12 shows for most bands at the moment. That's like a world tour. How's it feel?
Well, that's kind of how I did it with my own band. I used to try to hit some of the smaller towns. This may sound cliched, but I've always found that when you get into the smaller markets, the people are more appreciative, right? When we go to Sydney, we go to Brisbane, we go to Perth. Those are cities that every band that comes to Australia, goes through, So people are used to good shows and they can be choosy about who they go out to see, right?
Yep.
You hit those smaller cities that not a lot of bands get, not a lot of international bands get to, and people tend to be a bit more appreciative, and you get more people coming out because there aren't a whole lot of big bands that come through. So with my own band, that's how I operated. I used to hit every small town. I was looking at the tour schedule with our drummer Pinch. Pinch is an old school guy like me, and he was like, "Where is Wollongong?" I was like, "You've never been to Wollongong? You've been to Australia? You've never been there? You gotta be kidding me!" I was like, "You're in for a treat." I like hitting the smaller cities. I really do. I really enjoy it. And a lot of times, those smaller out of the way places, they have their own culture, they have their own scene. You know what I mean? They're usually very scene proud too because they are small. Oh God, I'm trying to think of the city I went to the last time. It's oh, good Lord, it's like a rainforest. Gosh, I can't think of the name of it. But the last time we were in Australia, we went to this one place, and a friend of mine happened to be living up there and was like, "I can't believe you're coming up here." What's the name of that city?
Was it Cairns?
Cairns. Yep.
Yep.
That's
Lovely.
it. And she was like, "What are you doing here?" I was like, I wouldn't miss coming here for the world. I had never been there before. So
Yeah, and look, as someone that actually lived in Wollongong before moving to Brisbane, the metal and punk scene is huge down there. So
yeah,
it's got its own little community. So the band will be fine. And as you said, those little out of the way places or the little towns, they might be 3 to 4 hour drive from a major city like Sydney. So those people have to choose what gigs they go to really wisely because gas, petrol is super expensive. So for you guys to hit their place makes them so much more appreciative, as you said.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It's it's a much different world touring now, post lockdown, and all this stuff going on with, fuel prices and food prices and everything else. I mean, it's a much, much different scene, and we see it firsthand, working in a touring band. Our expenses have gone up, well, look at it this way, right? You're the head of a household, right? It's costing you more money to get to work. It's costing you more money for groceries. Now, with us as a touring band, times that by 11 or 12, you know what I mean? Because you have to go by individuals, how many people actually working for you, what's going out, what's coming in. And that's the real problem, is what's coming in has not changed, but what's going out has really gone up a lot. And it's and I'm not whining or crying. We're still out there, doing it and having a good time. But it just makes us more appreciative of the people that are coming out to the shows, because we know, everyone's hurting right now. Everybody's hurting. But it's a funny thing with music and alcohol. When times get tough, that's not where people try to save money.
Yeah, exactly
You know what I
right.
mean? That's not where they try to save money. They'll pinch money anywhere else, but when it comes to enjoying themselves, now they feel even more like, I deserve this. You know what I mean? I'm really struggling. I deserve this.
Yeah, and at the gigs we've been to over the last month, the one thing I've noticed is the amount of merch sales. They're going through the roof.
Oh
It's
yeah.
so good.
Yep. Yeah, that thank God, because that's where we're making up some of the shortfalls on, what we're now paying for hotels, what we're now paying for gas, what we're now paying to rent a bus, everything, it's really it's a struggling business. And I know, because I follow a lot of the venues that we've played in over the years. I follow on my phone, and it, not because I'm, loyal to every place I play, but it makes it easier next time I come through and I want to tag the club. I don't
Yep.
have to do a search or anything. But I've seen how many of the classic clubs have closed down worldwide. Places that I've been playing in for 30 years. You know what I mean? Places that I've been going to for 30 years, gone.
Yeah.
In 2 years, how many of them have disappeared? It's really sad. It's really sad, because it's not just the death of a bar or a club. It's a death of a culture. You know what I
Yep.
mean? It's a cultural thing. And like here in the States, we have one company now that owns everything, Live Nation. They like own everything. So now they're controlling so much. Now they don't have to pay you as much. You know what I
Yep.
mean? They don't have to treat you as well, because they, it's all the mom and pop places, the privately owned places, got killed in the shutdown. And the only places that are surviving, and the places that actually bought up more places, are the big conglomerates, or the
Yeah.
big,
So
companies.
I gotta ask this. So, you get press releases, you get everything, and they always say "Me First" and the Gimme Gimmes are a super group. How do the members of the band feel being called a super group?
The Gimmies are, everything they do is tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Everything they get, it's all supposed to be fun. It's
Yeah.
all supposed to be, it's really poking fun at supergroups is what it
Yeah.
is. You know what I mean? That's really what it is. It's not that they're, we have big giant egos and nothing
Yep.
like that. The Gimmies are nothing more, not about nothing more than fun. That's it. You're supposed to laugh at the rock star stuff. You're
Yep.
supposed to laugh at the big, stage show and everything else. It's all meant to be laughed at. We're poking fun at everybody and everything, and above all ourselves,
Yep.
So
And
yeah.
the
So,
worst.
but in all seriousness, I mean, you do have Pinch, who played with the Damned on
Yep.
drums. You have John Reese rocking from the Crypt. You have is John Reese going to be with us in Australia? No, I
Yeah.
think it's Joey. John is, right, and
Yep.
Joey Cape, right? Joey Cape, Lagwagon, So and Spike, who of course played in other bands before, but Spike made his bones with the Gimmies.
Yeah.
He made his bones with the Gimmies. Spike really makes the Gimmies anyway, but and then myself haven't been in the Ramones, so there is a fair amount of punk rock royalty,
Yep.
within the band. So while it is kind of tongue in cheek and everything else, there's a shred of truth to it.
Yeah. And you are a super group. So that really bothers me that someone like Chris Shiflett wants to just pop around the world with some tiny little band like the Foo Fighters when he's got you.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh boy.
Like,
Yeah.
come
Chris
on,
is
Chris.
Chris's brother Scott played in the Gimmies for years. Scott, when I first started playing with the Gimmies, Scott was the guitar player on my side of the stage. And guy is an unbelievable player, and we really became buddies. But at this point now, it's John Reese is usually on my side of the stage, and that's how the Gimmes have been almost since the beginning, was rotating members.
Yeah,
That's,
and I think
that's
you never
really
know
how
what kind of tour you're going to get that way. It could
Yeah.
switch out. So,
Yeah.
you know, I figure now that the Gimmes have done so much, it's time for like a black metal or a death metal album too.
Yeah, I've tried to get, I've been like, like even like a goth record or something, so, but that's up to the bosses up the food chain from me to make a decision on that. Or at least a Christmas record would have been fun. But I'm sure there'll be another one at some point.
There you go, Head Gimmes. We want a Christmas record with Christmas death metal songs.
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
CJ, like, you have been down here a lot. You're almost pretty much an honorary Aussie. If you had to put your hat down, where would it be?
Oh boy. In Australia?
Yeah. Now, yeah, you're going to have to pick a city now.
Yeah. Wow. I guess all right. So I really, when we set up my retirement tour, I finished out in Australia.
Yeah.
And that was done on purpose. We picked Australia to finish up in. And we've picked Perth as the last city, and rented a house right up from the beach, and spent a couple days just drinking and hanging out and having a good time. But I like Western Australia.
Nice.
I really like Perth, and it's probably where I go if I wanted to hide out.
Yep. All right, I've got one last question for the day.
Okay,
So,
shoot.
a rocket from the crypt, a Ramone, a pinch, and two Lagwagons walk into a bar. What happens?
Oh boy. What happens? What happens? Well, between me, John, and Pinch, all the whiskey would definitely get drunk. Probably smoke every good cigar we could find in town. And we probably end up in jail.
Perfect. Looks like I have to take you to a nice whiskey bar in Brisbane when you're here then.
Oh, yeah, sure. That would be great.
We got a speakeasy.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. All right, man. I will see you in your second adopted home of Australia next year.
Okay.
With those other guys that are apparently in this super group.
Yeah.
Look forward to it. It's going to be a bunch of fun. Thanks for your time, man.
Okay. Thank you.
See ya.